Cover your motherfucking ears.
So, here we are.
Yeah.
It's Podcast Friday. It's gotten off to a start, and it's the Alphabet Super Series, right? We haven't done this one in a little while. The way this works is every month, Dan and I are we're taking turns picking games in alphabetical order that we have to play and then discuss. Typically games that we've never right, that the whole premise is you want to pick games that we haven't really played before, or ones that we've always meant to beat and stuff.
Yeah. Which is exactly why I went with
your pick.
It's exactly why I went with Alien Soldier. If you've listened to this podcast for any amount of time, it is no secret that I really love games made by Treasure. They just their game design, language, philosophy, whatever you want to call it, just really speaks to my particular way, just the way that I like to play games. They make games that I just really, really love. And Alien Soldier is one of those ones, due to the nature of how it was released originally, not here. It was one of those ones that I was always like, fuck, man, I really want to play that. It looks really cool. But I just never spent enough time with it, right? Eventually you play it through Shmemulation and whatever. But now that it's on NSO, I was like, fuck it. Let's do this.
Alien Soldier, did that ever... So it didn't come out here at all, or was that a Sega Channel thing?
It was a Sega Channel thing, so
that's right.
It didn't come out here at all.
Exactly, except for the 18 people that had Sega Channel, it didn't come out here at all.
Yeah, and it's been re-released on a bunch of different things. This is not an unheard of game any longer. It's on NSO, which is why I decided all right, fine, it's finally time to pick this. And usually we give a month, but we forgot and only gave 2 weeks this time. I really wanted to try and spend some time with the ROM hack that gives this 6-button control. I had no time for that.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, so this game, before we get, too deep into the actual conversation, this game should never have been put on a system with 3 buttons. There's so much more that you have to do.
Lost Dan.
So there was a ROM hack. It was fixed years and years and years later. But that is a thing that you can do if you would like to. Let's go ahead and talk about Alien Soldier properly. So it was developed by Treasure, published by Sega, originally came out in Japan on February 24th, 1995, was then released in PAL territories in May of 1995, and at some point in 1995, it was released to the Sega Channel, which got a lot of really cool games. This being one of them. It was first
Wily Wars. I think
Wily Wars is on there.
Yeah.
It was re-released in Japan in 2006 on the PlayStation 2. They put out a thing called Sega Aegis 2500, the Gunstar Heroes Treasure Box, which came out with also Gunstar Heroes and Dynamite Headdy. And then it eventually hit 2007 Wii Virtual Console, and then Microsoft Windows and Steam in 2011, and it was added to Nintendo Switch's Nintendo Classic service on March 16th of 2022. It was
also on the Genesis Mini.
Oh yeah, it was on the Genesis Mini. So it is a Treasure game through and through. It is a super tough boss fight, almost a boss rush kind of run and gun insanity that is just I love it. I love this game. I fucking love this game. But I knew I was going to love this game. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. Because this is the type of game that I could see you loving or fucking hating.
No, I think it's great. I didn't quite get the hang of it. So my first run through it was a couple nights ago, and I had played this before and didn't understand it at all. I think when it first showed up on Virtual Console or something, I gave it a shot, and I just couldn't get the hang of it. The last time I played it, just a couple nights ago, I abused the shit out of the rewind button.
Yeah.
Just absolutely abused it. And I got relatively far, I think, before I just gave up. It just got to the point where it was just constantly rewinding, just nonstop. And it was like, I'm doing something wrong here. But so I'm using my weapons. I'm running out of ammo all the time. There's a strict time limit. I'm doing the dash move, but I couldn't figure out why sometimes I would have this awesome dash of death, and then other times I didn't. So then I jumped into our Discord and read the bunch of our feedback, and everyone was talking about the parry move. And that parry move is what recharges things, and it makes health show up, and it recharges that crazy dash move. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started trying to mess with that this evening right before the show, and I don't think I did better, but I think I had a better handle on what I was doing. Like, I still was rewinding a lot, but I wasn't completely lost in the woods, you know? I like the music, you know, the sounds are all great. It's good. It's just good stuff. It is very strange because when you start playing it, it looks like it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to go through a Contra style thing, and then here's a boss. But then just the levels are super short, except the level is short. Like 4 or 5 bosses. So you go for like a few feet, and then you fight a boss, some sort of weird boss, and then you go a few more feet with things peppering you from every angle, and then you fight another boss, and then another boss, and then eventually you move on to a full new stage. But like you're saying, it's basically the game is a boss rush, which is very strange.
There are 25 levels and 26 bosses.
I got nowhere. There were 25 levels that I think I made it to the 2nd or 3rd level. Like, this game's tough. But it's really cool.
So the 2nd or 3rd level, or do you mean the 2nd or 3rd level, or the 2nd or 3rd part of the 1st level?
No, like this. They made it to the 2nd different environment.
Okay, yes, right. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I think there's only like 5 or 6 different zones. Might be the best way to put it. I thought you were
saying there was like 30 some odd of those.
No.
Like,
no.
What?
There's 20 because it does say level 1, level 2, like each time each time you go through. But this just speaking to what I said about this being boss rush the game, there are 25 levels and 26 bosses. So like that is, and apparently it was not done. Like when this game was released, they were like, fuck it, it's going out like this. But it was about half of what the development team wanted to include. They just wanted more boss rush shit, just more and more bosses throughout this entire crazy ass fucking game. And like when you're talking about like the
crazy, like
they are crazy.
Understate, if you didn't play along with us on this one, the enemy designs are just disgusting. They're all over the map.
There's a super cool spider.
And Altered Beast look tame.
It's fucking great.
Mutant horror shows. It's wild. Like
what you were saying about the controls, right? Because I really do want to try this with the 6-button ROM hack, because this game it's a hard game, right? It's a treasure game. Those games are tough, but they're also, you know, like Gunstar Heroes, they are incredibly fair. You just have to get good at it, and not in like the shitty parlance of our times, like just get good, man. But like you really have to learn the specificity of this particular game, and once it starts to click, you just become this fucking Death Eagle that is just waylaying shit on the screen, and it's so fun to play through it, but it was so limited by the 3-button controller. You know, I really think playing through this with that ROM hack is going to just like mind-blowing kind of experience.
Yeah, there were moments tonight when I was kind of getting the hang of the the parrying, that I started to get that power fantasy bit from it, you know, like,
yeah,
okay, I understand how it's possible to get good enough to like really just tear this game to shreds.
Yeah.
It's just, like it's a treasure game. It's going to take some real practice to get there. I don't know. It's the kind of thing that I have the mental bandwidth for in my age to master. You know, it's like we were talking about Cuphead before. Like, okay, no, it wasn't you. That was my sister and I were talking about Cuphead. It was like, you know, what? I got real far in that game, and I think I'm good. I don't think I have it in me to dedicate what it would take to make that work for me, to finish the game. Like, I could do it, but it would really take a lot of practice. And
I think Cuphead's a really good comp for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not that they play the same really at all, but I think Cuphead kind of also has, you know, exactly what you're saying. Like, if I'm gonna do this, I have to fucking lock in, chat. Like, I've got to dedicate
myself to this.
I'm doing this.
Go.
Yeah, you know. But I mean,
that is fun. There is a degree of fun to that. I used to do it all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's just not something I have the time for as much anymore.
Right. In my 40s, but I
was really having a good time with it. So I'm not going to say definitely I'm not going to touch this, but there was having a good time. It was interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I really, really loved it. Let's go ahead and throw it into the old 5-point ranking system for our 4 different categories. So for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, Kris and I will keep track over the next 26 months not 26 months. What the fuck is wrong with me? 27 months, because we do the Christmas one. As we go through each letter of the alphabet, we will rank it on graphics, sound, control, and fun factor. Just stolen completely whole cloth from GamePro, using their 5-point scale. And what was the only one we left out? What was the other one on GamePro? It was graphics, sound, control, fun factor, and I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
Vibes.
Vibes, yeah. We'll rank those out of 5 for a total possible perfect score of 20, and then, you know, at the end of this experiment, we will tally up where we are and see how things are looking. So, graphics out of 5, Kris, where do you stand on this?
Challenge, graphics, sound, control, fun factor,
challenge. Yeah. That's why we got rid of challenge, because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's not really something that we need to grade on.
No, I don't need to rank that. Yeah, that was dumb.
Hard as balls. How's that sound?
Right?
So this is
out
Alien Soldier.
Yes.
Right, because
hard as balls out of 5.
Yeah. I was so close to playing Alien Storm last night, because I booted up the Switch and I go into NSO and I'm like, Alien Storm. Yeah, that looks about right. Wait a sec. This isn't sounding right.
Wait a tick.
Wait a tick. I found it. There it is. All right, so let's see. Alien Soldier. Graphics
out of 5.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
I mean, given the... I want to go 4.5. I'd say, like, as far as the Genesis is concerned, it's about as good as you could hope for out of a Genesis, but also... there's things about the art direction that I don't love. Like, there are certain enemies that are just like, well, that just looks like a butt that's pooping things at me.
Yeah.
There are certain enemy designs, like, I like most of the weird, grotesque stuff, but then there were some of them just like, I think he kind of missed the mark So I'm gonna drop it a point, just a half a point for some of its art direction, but everything else, I mean, we didn't really get a chance to talk about this beforehand. I had one more thing I wanted to hit on was the story.
Jump in.
When you start this game, there's this like Tolkien level story of just like, and Flogma Gorgonbobs jumped onto the Fliggage train, and then the Gorgmoms, and they attacked the Gorgmims, and the Gorgmims and the Gorgmoms and the Flubby Flobs went to the Flubby Floops Silver System and jibby jobbed, and like it just goes on, and I'm looking at it like, I hope there's not a quiz because I'm not following any, like 5 minutes into that opening scroll. It's like I'm not following any of this. This is just not making sense. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Sorry, 4.5 out of 5 because it's damn good. It's just shy of perfect.
I get that. I'm going with a 5 on this one. Exactly because of what you said. I don't know that you could look better than this on a Genesis. There's a ton of shit on screen. It looks great. The backgrounds are cool. There are some parts of it where the backgrounds are kind of minimalist or whatever, but then there's other parts where they're like super fucking detailed. It animates really, really well. Like it looks really good in motion.
I'm being stingy. It's getting a 5. I'm sorry. I'm being too damn stingy.
No, I mean, if it's how you feel, like, I get it. I don't see, in playing through it, I just don't see anything where I could be like, yeah, this could look a little better for a 16-bit Genesis game. And again, that's one of the things that Treasure's just really, really good at. They make really good looking games.
I'm being stingy because of some of the art direction, but honestly, it's not that it's bad art direction, it just wasn't tickling my fancy. No, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's unfair to give this anything less than a 5 because it does everything it's setting out to do, and it does it very well. So there you go.
So the next one I'm interested in where you're going to land on this one with the sound.
I think with the sound I want to go with a 4.5. Because again, the execution was great. I just didn't find anything extraordinarily memorable. Nothing was bad. Nothing struck me as even kind of bad, but also nothing was so good that made me go like, yes. But the sound effects were all fantastic. Really, it just came down to the compositions themselves didn't stick with me as much as I would like. And that's really the only knock I have on the sound.
That's exactly where I am too. I'm at a 4.5 on this because as I am sitting here, I'm trying to think of the music and I can't. And I don't know if that's because the soundtrack itself is not memorable or because I just couldn't fucking pay attention to the soundtrack because there's so much else going on.
Right, yeah.
But whatever the case may be, there's nothing that's jumping out into my mind. Like that opening track in the very first stage, like as you're kind of getting used to things, is really good. But I can't even I couldn't hum a few bars if I had to right now. So yeah, I think a 4.5 is fair. Yeah, that sounds about right. What about Control? Because this is where it takes the biggest hit for me.
This is a tough one. I do think that it being limited to 3 buttons is rough. The fact that the parry has to be a double tap, I find myself. It took a while for me to get to the point where I felt like I understood the controls. The bringing up a menu to switch weapons felt kind of unnatural. I understand what they were going for, but they wanted to do more things than that controller was comfortably capable of. Yeah. So, but that said, it does work. You just have to really learn it. So the controls are very tight too. Like there was rarely a point where I felt like the game wasn't executing something I wanted it to. It was just a matter of me messing up because everything was so complicated. So I think I would have to give it a 4 out of 5 because it's such a solid execution. It's so ambitious. and the fact that it works as well as it does is kind of a miracle.
Really impressive.
Yeah. So I got to go with a 4. It's overly complicated, but that's just because the game itself is, I think, a bit too ambitious for a 3-button Genesis.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt too. I've been waffling back and forth as I've been, thinking about recording this episode and where I'm going to land with these things. And I've been waffling between a 3.5 and a 4. But I think you convinced me to push it up to a 4 because you're right. What you are able to do everything, right? You can do everything, even within the limitations of what a Genesis control pad had available to you. Everything does work. And it does feel really good to play. Like, as you're doing the stuff, it's very responsive, it's very quick. There's no, slowdown in the controls or lag or no, like, everything just feels really, really good. But that ambition does hold it back a little bit because I was frustrated by the controls at times. Not enough to be like, bah, fuck it, I'm putting this game down and never picking it up again. But there was some frustration that I think would knock it down a full point. So the last thing we have then is fun factor.
Well, again, that's going to be a little bit tricky because I was having fun, but I also eventually got to the point where I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give that a solid 4.
Okay. I am at a 4.5 for that because I was having an absolute fucking blasty as I was playing through it, just a little bit hampered by the 3-button control scheme. Especially, and man, it's even weirdly not fair because I was playing it on NSO, right? So I also I have a 3-button control scheme technically, but it's not laid out like a Genesis controller.
No, it's not.
So I don't know how much of that was affecting how it felt or whatever. So I'm really, really interested to try that 6-button ROM hack. Not that would have been applicable to any of this that we're talking about, which is why I didn't do it yet. But like I said, this is a game that I was not able to finish in the 2 weeks. Like, life just keeps lifing.
And it's hard.
We got another fucking dog today. It's just, we'll talk about that later. She has, that's the thing. It's fucking absurd. I'm going to put a picture in our Discord and you'll understand. But life just, kind of keeps happening and whatnot. So I wasn't able to finish it, but I do very much want to go back and finish this. Like, I do want to play more of this because I just thought it was so fun. So cool. Yeah.
Well, it's currently in first place.
Yeah, definitely in first place. So let's see if we add all these together, that gives it a solid 18 out the gate.
17.5,
which is, that is a very, very strong start.
That's a strong start indeed. Last year's winner for me was a 20.
That was UN Squadron, right? For you?
Yeah. So this would be somewhere between Christmas Nights and Life Force. And this is a solid pick. Good work.
Yeah.
Nicely done.